Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Continuing this week with my honoring Joseph Campbell. He'll come up many, many times as a scholar of mythology. 1987, he did the Power of Myth series with Bill Moyers on PBS. That really revivified everybody's understanding of mythology, which is an artful arrangement of lies that tells the truth, totally false on the outside, totally true on the inside. Myths speak to that which never was, but always is. So if we're going to restore the sacred to secular life, which has been spiritually barren for many, many people, then we have to understand that spirituality is the bouquet of natural life, not a supernatural grace added unto it. So how do you find out what you got inside you? Are you going to do actions that are inspiring, actions that do something that have meaning connected to it? So it's not the agony of the quest, it's the rapture of the revelation that you're after. If you just stay with the inertia part of life and descend all the way down into what it has been before, it doesn't do it. So the ascending path is the effort to move forward to new spiritual perspectives. And of course, when you do something like that, there's always the fear of the new, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being criticized, the fear of sticking your neck out. But once you understand that where you stumble, that's where your treasure is. And you have to understand that there's a time developmental aspect. The old teachings were all about the myth of eternal return. It was seasonal, cyclical, came back, same thing, up and down, up and down. And so that was the old way of understanding time. And it's not there isn't seasonal changes, but our understanding of reality is what is called time emergent. It moves forward one way from the past into the now and into what we think of as the future. Or in other words, dinosaurs are extinct. They're never going to come back. Maybe in a Steven Spielberg movie, but other than that, ain't going to happen. So is there a final truth in an evolving cosmos? Interesting question. So when you find out what the spiritual meaning of things are, then you no longer take the scriptures literally. You don't have dogma and certainty anymore, but you have silent experience. And as Swami Satyananda says, truth is best expressed in silence and most easily understood in silence. So we want to go beyond the old traditions, which mythologized everything, and try to understand what are the powers being evoked within us. Because if it truly works, then the technique becomes transcendent to that which is transparent to that which is transcendent. And one of the ideas is look at mythology like fairy tales. Because you know it isn't true, then you're able to get the spiritual meaning of the whole thing. Whereas if you literalize it, you banish beauty to the back burner and miss many of the beautiful teachings there. So, although partially we follow a path, and usually initially it's somebody else's path, but that's not your own destiny. Because yours is not already mapped out. And that's the whole idea in certain ways about the guru game. The guru knows where you are, and it ain't where they are. And so you're always playing catch-up, trying to mimic or go into the experience that you think they represent. But Joseph Campbell elucidated a really interesting idea in terms of the myth of the Grail, when the knights of King Arthur went to search for the Holy Grail and have a vision of it. And they say at one point that they all went into the forest where it was darkest and there was no way or path, but they deemed it would be a disgrace to go in as a group. So each one of them went individually, by themselves, solo, where there was no way or path. And this seemed to be the beginning of the Western culture's idea of the importance of individual understanding, individual experience, individual attempt to have one's spiritual identity be revealed to them and not just follow the hierarchy or the structure of the given religious tradition that a person was born into. So I hope that each of you has your own way of spiritualizing your life by finding meaning, being involved with something bigger than yourself. And then remember, happiness doesn't come from accumulating things, but from the expression of the freedom of one's own being, which is living spirit once you rightly access it.